And the thing that makes me sad about this is that if it's anything like Mega Man 9, I'll have to beat it first before I can get to the full title screen of all three boys here. It just opens that menu. So, in Mega Man 9, Proto Man was DLC, but in Mega Man 10, Proto Man was included in the game, and Bass was DLC. Bass, bass, whatever, fish. So, you get to choose which one of your boys you want to play as. And like I said, Proto Man's got the charge shot, the slide, and his shield. But we're going to play Mega Man, because why not? And one of the complaints about Mega Man 9 was basically what I was talking about, how it was so fucking stupid-ass hard for no reason. So you actually get kind of a peek of what you're getting with the difficulty modes. So Easy adds these little platforms, just like Easy Mode and Powered Up did. And we're going to play on normal because we're not bitches. So, the shop is kept away, and there's no bullshit 200 bolt roll ripoff costume. As much as I love the Mega Man 8. Yeah, Sheepman, his weakness is Welshman. So, one of the things that Mega Man 10 clearly does over Mega Man 9 is they have given zero of a shit about the, Well, you know what? I'll have to show you the artwork because I actually like some of Sheepman's other designs. There was a design of Sheepman that kind of looked like a sleepy anime girl. It was just cute. But whatever, we're gonna go to Sheepman first, because he's kind of a bitch. And the fun fact about this intro scene to the Robot Masters is as you defeat them, they disappear off the screen. So, if you know anything about NES music, and if you listen closely, you can tell that the music in Mega Man 10 is a lot more intense than it is in Mega Man 9. And if you actually put the music into software and look at it, they just did not give a shit. They made a retro sounding soundtrack, but I guess let me explain it this way. If you mess around with the software to make music in NES games, you basically have 4 instrument channels. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sync. You basically have 4 channels to play with, and one of them had to be dedicated to sound effects. So that's why you get your beepy boopy musics. But the Mega Man 9 like bumped it up to something like 5 instruments, and Mega Man 10, when I got to looking at it one day... Oh, by the way, they added this in. When I got to looking at it in a software one time, I think there's something like 12 instruments going on in Mega Man 10. So, yeah, this shit is a little bit more complex than you'd think. I don't know why I keep going into the menus. I'm gonna have to wean myself of that. So this game also has a gimmick in every level, but unlike Mega Man 9, they're not fucking retarded. So we'll get through 10 a little bit easier than we did 9. Because 10 is still difficult, but it's not like pants shittingly difficult like 9 was. You know, it's actually kind of hilarious how many times I own Mega Man 9 and 10, because I bought them on Wii, and then a couple months ago, I bought them on PS3 because they were on sale for like 99 cents each. And then not even a fucking week after I bought them on PS3, Legacy Collection 2 got announced, and I was like, well, fuck. So I have them installed on my PS3, but I never touched them. And that just goes to say a lot of things about my PS3. I've got a shitload of games I bought that are installed that I haven't touched. Like, I finally got around to buying Darkstalkers Resurrection. Oh man, that's dumb. I still haven't finished the Sly collection. I really need to get around to that one. The Sly collection just hurts my soul because it just aggravates me, the issues those games have. Like, that fucking boss with the rhythm game was just a complete pain in the ass and just totally unplayable. Yeah, no, same here. I was huge on Ratchet and Clank. That one was my favorite. I liked the original Jak before it went all blatant Grand Theft. Like, as far as the Jak games go, hang on, it's getting a little dark. I'm gonna go turn my living room light on. But as far as the Jak games go, I loved the original. 2 is fucking terrible. And 3 is great. I think 3 is probably my favorite out of, yeah, that too. Jak 2 is just so hilariously fucking edgy for no reason. But, I think Jak 3 is not only my favorite out of the trilogy, it might be one of my favorite PS2 games of all time. The final boss really shits the bed, and it's kind of frustratingly difficult for no reason. And I absolutely fucking hated the driving segments in 3. Because, yeah, I have the PS3 collection, and I'm legitimately considering buying the PS4 collection. I just love the Jak games. Now the thing with the Jak games is I actually own Daxter plus the Lost Frontier, and like, people give Nintendo a lot of shit for the GameCube attachment to the Game Boy thing on GameCube where you can plug a Game Boy in. But yeah, no, you don't have to be. I was a dumb teenager. Lost Frontier was pretty fucking bad. But I will say that Jak X Combat Racing was actually really good. And what I was just trying to say is the dumb shit that you could do with your PSP. You could use it as a fucking rear view mirror. Like, there was no point. Like, the perfect example of a dumb attachment for no fucking reason, but goddamn if I didn't use it and think it was the coolest shit. And that little victory theme there, that's the perfect example of the Mega Man 10 music being way more complicated than actual NES music. Alright, Pump Man. How many bolts do I have anyway? Okay. I'm gonna buy the energy balancer after this level. I actually really liked the Spyro the Dragon games as a kid. I don't know why. I had that one, like, I don't even think it was a legitimate product. I think... I think it was just a complete mock-up product that just happened to look like it. But I know back in the day, they had, like, all these pillows that looked like characters. Like, my sisters had, Blue's Clues ones. And I had this purple dragon pillow that just fucking happened to look like Spyro. I don't know if it was a legitimate product or not. I had a bunch of those terrible Crash Bandicoot toys that all broke in 5 seconds. So it might have actually been a real product. I have never played a single Spyro the Dragon game past the original PlayStation ones. Okay, so there's 2 paths here, and I forget which one is the easier one, so we're going to take this one. So they reused the Mega Man 1 designs of the Mets again, but at least here it makes sense that they're like adorable little slug things. My complete and total autism for Mega Man aside, I absolutely adore the Mets. I think they're some of the, like, legitimately cutest little mascot characters ever. It's a little Japanese hard hat with eyes. Fuck you, that's adorable. Which reminds me, back in the early days of computers, when everybody was like passing around their shitty, like, Game Factory games, I had a couple Mega Man ones that my dad downloaded for me that, I've never been able to find again. And I actually want to get them and... oh, excuse me. I actually want to get them and stream them. But I've never been able to find them. I'm sure if I went and dug out my dad's old computer, I could find them and just copy them over, but that's just... I don't know if it's worth the effort. One of them was, like, whatever, when you're 10 and you don't care, it's actually pretty good. Let's fight him as legit as we can, and then if we die, we'll use his weakness, unless I'm out of lives. Oh, I got plenty. One of them was just this actually kind of good, but not really. I don't remember what it was called, but you could play as Mega Man, and player 2 was Link, and it was co-op, and there were all these horrible, like, running jokes about fucking pickles, and, I think it was called, like, Mega Man Saves the Day or something, but the final battle was just the Mega Man 2 Wily Machine, and it just, like, what a letdown. Oh, forgot there's no slide. That's the only bad thing about Pump Man's weakness. Setting the Thundercloud, you get shit like that. Oh, that's right! Oh, you can only use the weapon tank on one weapon. But the other Mega Man game I had was, something like, I want to say it was like The Great Escape, or The Great Met Escape, or something like that. You played as a Met, fighting this little black Met. And it had all these horrible, like, MIDI conversions of all the Mega Man songs. But it was stupid good, and it was one of those easily broken Game Maker games where if you got slightly touched, you could either get all of your life bar or none of it wiped out. I give one of my friends a lot of shit for playing all of his stupid-ass, Newgrounds games, but man, when I was a kid and I was hungering for some more Mega Man, you got desperate and stupid. And you know what, just for shits and giggles, let's buy the hair just for the next level. So, when you take your helmet off, you take more damage. And this is for the crazy people who want to play Proto Man mode without actually playing Proto Man. And I think Solar Man is weak to Pump Man's weapon, we'll see. My biggest problem with 10 is a lot of the bosses are just the perfect example of they wasted a perfectly good design. Looking in the artwork section of this game, you just get so heartbroken. I mean, like I said earlier, there's the, like, sleepy anime girl Sheep Man that was way cuter. And, so I think Solar Man looks terrible. And a lot of his earlier designs look a lot better. So you have those little firehead fellas from Mega Man 1 getting used again. But that's alright. Also, one thing I will say about the concept art for this game, you don't know it from playing it, but the level that you're in right now is this, like, giant fire planet that looks cool as hell. I think it takes away your hair after one death, we'll see. That might have been Mega Man 9. Yep. Which, it's only 20 bolts, so whatever. But at the same time, it's still kind of annoying. Because it's like, man, maybe I wanted to keep my helmet off, fuck you. Whatever. I'm not fighting you. So I got motherfucking stonewalled by Xenoblade 1 again today. Playing Xenoblade 2 has made me want to replay Xenoblade 1, and not because I have a problem with Xenoblade 2, but because I wanted to re-familiarize myself with Xenoblade 1. Because, I know this sounds really gay, but that game kind of revitalized my love for video games. Because around the time that Xenoblade 1 came out, I was going through a lot of dumb shit. And I was pretty much ready to give up video games forever. And, like, at the time, you know, the Xenoblade had just come out in Europe. And, it was all over the internet, V especially, like, holy shit, guys, this game is awesome. So I acquired it and started playing it. And I'll admit the beginning of the game is really slow and you don't care and you just want it to get over with and you want to see what the big hubbub is. And then Shulk gets the Monado and the game just blows wide fucking open and you're like, holy shit. And I spent hours doing like every side quest and checking out every little bit of content in that game I could... You know what? God damn it. I gotta remember. Doing every little bit of content I could do. Like, I just did not want that game to be over. And, I mean, that really was my favorite game. I beat it. I played New Game Plus. I beat it again. When I got my computer, it was the very first game that I ever emulated on Dolphin with the HD pack, and I beat it again. And then it came out on 3DS, and I was like, man, this is terrible, but I beat it again. And ever since I got my Switch, my video game setup in my living room has been a little bit shuffled around, and I have no interest in pulling out certain consoles again. So my my console of choice to play Xenoblade on, for the reasons because, are my 3DS. And man, that is an ambitious port, but a terrible one. I'm not the kind of person who gives a shit about frame rate or anything like that unless it's bad. But you want to fucking talk about silky smooth 5 frames a second. Let's talk about the 3DS port of Xenoblade. If you get into a fight with more than one person, like, you can just completely expect to just be hanging out for like 20 minutes, like waiting for the game to catch up with you. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that either. They're just gonna respawn again. Jesus. This is gonna be another one of those hilariously incompetent rabbit moments. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Oh, hang on a second. And I'm out of lives, so... But if there's one thing about Xenoblade I don't like, it's that every time I play it, I get stonewalled at the same fucking part. And, it really is the same part every time. It's right at the climax of the game, and, you know, long story short, there's a part where you you get a sneak peek at the Bionis' guts early in the game. And then at the very end, some plot shit happens, and you have to go inside the Bionis for real. And, there is a certain boss fight inside his heart that is one of the top 3 absolutely most infuriating fucking boss fights in a video game. And, Jesus fucking Christ, every time I play Xenoblade Chronicles, I get hard stopped by that boss every time. And, using as little spoilers as possible, I'll try to describe this boss if you've never played Xenoblade. So inside the Bionis' heart, there's pools of acid everywhere. So your clinically retarded AI will run into the pools of acid, chasing the little mobs that the boss sends out. And whenever I play Xenoblade, I always put Ricky on my team, because he is the most hilariously ridiculous tank I've ever seen in a video game. And, the third slot I'll either fill in with, Melia, Seven, or, Sharla. And I always like to play as Shulk. Whenever I play Xenoblade, I'll either play as Shulk or I'll play as Seven. And, because one of the problems with not playing as Shulk is his AI is just so unbelievably incompetent. And, you have to play as Shulk, because the main thing about Shulk is he's got the Monado, which lets you cast a spell that lets other people damage the robot enemies before you get the weapons that damage them instead. So essentially you can play as Shulk and take care of that shit, and then once you start getting weapons that damage the robot enemies, you can bench Shulk if you feel like it, or you can just keep going. And most of the time I'll keep going, just because you just get comfortable playing as Shulk. And, if you leave the AI to Shulk, he will just kind of fuck off and not really do anything. And, he'll always waste his built-up Monado energy on something else. Well, that was a good use of our brand new shiny life. So I'm gonna date this video by talking about some dumbass shit that's gonna put like a hard time period on this. So I've been playing Xenoblade 2 because it just came out. And I'm out of the school for the semester, so I can finally start playing video games again. And when I said I had to shake the rust off from playing Mega Man 9, I really meant that. And I hope, like, kind of, I don't want to say that I'm breezing through this, but considering how most people cry about the Mega Man games, I like to think I'm playing through them at least a little bit faster than the average person. And, now that I can actually just, like, sit down, kick my pants off, and just play the Switch. I've really been going whole hog into Xenoblade 2, and I like that game, and I can understand why people don't like that game. And I'm not talking about big old fat bunny titties. I'm talking about some legitimate complaints I have with that game. The core crystal system is absolute fucking horseshit. I don't think that gacha bullshit has any fucking place in a console RPG. Especially when you don't even pay real money for the core crystals. Why did I do that? And I will tell you that is the absolutely most fucking infuriating thing in the world to get a legendary core crystal. And every time I see one of those generic blades pop out, I want to throw my Switch across the fucking room. Because it's always the same fucking buff dude with the ether cannon. And it's terrible. It's so fucking terrible. And, I do have a couple of the popular ones. Like, I got Finch relatively early, and I'm pretty happy about that. Believe it or not, I got fucking Cosmos, which is really cool. But, I didn't get Bunny Titties. I didn't get the Lightning Lolly. I really, really, really want the Lightning Lolly. But, I got the other rabbit, Boreas or whatever it's called, the big ball one. But, I don't want to be like, oh, you should be guaranteed a rare blade, but you should not be getting fucking generic blades from legendary core crystals when you shove 5 full fucking boosters into it. It's just such a pain in the ass. I haven't been grinding for core crystals yet. I don't know if I've gotten to those specific enemies that drop them. But I do build them up before I start using them. And, I seriously used something like 10 regular core crystals and 6 rare core crystals. And I only got 2 rare blades out of it. Trying to think about all the rare blades I have. I have the Valley Girl, like Thunder chick with the claw hands. I've got the Deer God lady who's got the 2 deer coming out of her shoulders. I already mentioned I have Cosmos, Boreas, and Finch. Who's the one ginger guy who's like ice but fiery? I think his name's Godfrey. I have him too. And I'm gonna sound like a huge fucking casual for this, and I don't care. I am so happy Tiger is getting some hardcore rebalancing and an easy mode. Because I love Poppy. I think she's one of the best party members in the game. And I understand why they would do it, because, you know, Tora's whole character is being a shitty Nappa weeaboo. But Jesus fucking Christ, I don't think there's anything on this planet more infuriating than Tiger. Especially when you're as far in the game that I am. I just got Poppy Cutie, the Nappa, the robot girl in Xenoblade 2. But when you're as far in the game that I am, I just got Poppy Cutie a little bit ago, and I'm gonna say Poppy and not Hana because I'm not a fucking weeaboo. it's just so aggravating. And yes, Poppy is hilariously fucking broken, but at the same time, you know, Tora is pretty fucking gimped because Poppy is the only blade he'll ever have. And, it's, you just, I mean, it's, I don't know how to feel, because on one hand, it's like that slow burn, because if you do the side quest to get Poppy Cutie Pie, she's, like, one of the straight-up, just most busted-ass characters in the entire game. But at the same time, Poppy Cutie Pie is a side quest. The furthest you ever get in the game itself is just Poppy Cutie. So that they can at least give you a little flex room. And yes, I know that you can, burn parts you'll never use, like, I'll never make Poppy a healer. I don't ever plan on changing my party from Rex, Tora, Nia, so I don't plan on making Poppy anything but a tank. But, Tiger is just so obnoxious. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tora has an NES game at his house that you use to upgrade Poppy. And, it's kind of like Infiniminer. Kind of. You play as a Nopon and you have to sink to the bottom of the ocean. And while you're sinking to the ocean, you have to collect treasure chests along the way. And then you get to the bottom and you open the big treasure and you come back up and... you get 3 hits. And even so much as scraping anything takes a hit away. And, you can get, like, armor power-ups. And, so the little armor power-ups will add an extra hit to how many hits you're allowed to take. But you still lose the treasure chest if you take a hit. And, your health bar can never be restored. So that's obnoxious. Some of those levels go on for fucking forever. And you have to, it really is like a get good kind of thing, but at the same time, it's just so obnoxiously terrible. I find myself replaying the original levels over and over just to get tiny amounts of ether crystals to at least buy the shit I want with Poppy. Okay, so what we learned here was that if you want to get through a hard part in Mega Man, you just have to fucking rush it. But I will say that some of my complaints about Xenoblade 2, I'm a huge weeb, so I love my anime titties. Please note, contradictory just said I wasn't a weeaboo, but you get what I mean. Oh! Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, I love my anime titties. I own every Neptune game. I own every Senran game. I was a Wii U owner who got fucking burned by all the bullshit censorship during that particular dark era of Nintendo. And I'm happy to see, anime titties come back to Nintendo consoles. But all this crying about, Xenoblade 2 and Pyra's big old Pyras and the bunny titties and all that stuff, it just cracks me up so much that people are acting like the Xeno series is this untouched, like, perfect bastion of anime nonsense. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Because you can go back to, like, Xenogears, and just Cosmos' entire existence is a big fuck you to anybody complaining about Pyra. Because it's canon in Xenogears that Cosmos was made by a pervert. And she has a super attack that makes her tits pop out for no fucking reason other than the scientist was literally a pervert. And, like, that same attack shows up in those terrible Project X Zone games. And then not to mention that, you can go back to Xenogears and there's the one lolly party member that you can flip her skirt, and you just... It literally is just, let's jump on a bandwagon and be upset. And it's just so fucking pointless, and I don't understand. Like, I just roll my eyes at that shit. Alright, Chill Man to Nitro Man. Nitro Man has another cool design. If you go into the artwork, you can see how he was originally just a robot master on a bike. He wasn't he wasn't the bike, which was really cool. I liked that. Must be the New York tourist level. And video game censorship is one of those things that I do feel really strongly about. And I have friends who are the kind of, well, just look at porn kind of people, and it's like, that's not the point. The thing I hated the most about Nintendo's retarded censorship during the Wii U era was how completely fucking inconsistent and stupid it was. So let's talk about Xenoblade X. I have problems with Xenoblade X, but one of them is that, you know, nobody really has a true identity in that game. And before I sound like some pompous ass, like, everyone has kind of a default armor set, but nobody has default clothes. So like in Xenoblade, a lot of armor sets got reused, but not in the way you would think. So like, let's say there's a set of armor called the Brave armor. You know, for Shulk, it would be his default costume, but maybe it's blue or gray. And in Xenoblade X, you know, let's say you have a set of armor where, let's say you have a set of armor called, like, the Galactic Suit, and the Galactic Suit will look the same on everyone. And so, you get these really weird situations where, so Lyn was censored, but it wasn't even consistently censored, and that's where things get really stupid, because, So you have the infamous, like, Lyn, you know, Lyn didn't have a bikini. Lyn had, like, these weird boy short looking things. Whoops. So Lyn had these weird, like, boy short looking things when you tried to put on the bikini. But when I say that the censorship wasn't even fucking consistent, you could remove Lyn's armor, and she would still have the same skimpy panties that every other female character had. So they retextured her bikinis for literally nothing. And, the bunny suits, like, the bunny suits were end-game armor you could unlock through side quests. And, there were two different versions of the bunny suit you could get. You could get, like, a full, proper bunny suit, or you could get, like, a bikini version of it. But no matter what version you put on Lyn, it would just be like a tuxedo, like the boys got if you put it on them. And the thing that burns my ass the hardest is the Fundoshi. So, if I'm pronouncing that right, the Fundoshi is like that... Like if you've ever watched Samurai Jack, it's his underwear. It's that weird, like, cloth wrapped around like underwear. And it was, in Xenoblade X, it was one of the absolute most bitch-ass difficult things to grind for. And, they changed it to like 1950s style boxer shorts in the American version. And just what a slap in the fucking face. All to make people who won't even fucking buy your games in the first place happy. And I think that's what, actually started causing this censorship crap to stop. Because these companies finally realized that these, like, 400 pounds dykes with their shitty haircuts aren't buying your games. So I want to talk about Strike Man real quick. I think he's got to have the worst backstory for a Mega Man boss. And I don't mean worst as in, oh, he sucks. I mean, like, worst as in, holy fucking shit, people. So the plot of Mega Man 10 is that there's a virus that's making all these robots go haywire. And Strike Man is a baseball-playing robot. And when he went haywire, he was throwing baseballs at the players and putting them in the hospital. Because remember, he's a goddamn robot, so he's chucking baseballs at like 300 miles an hour and breaking people's bones and shoulders and shit. And just look at Mega Man in the corner of my screen here. Like, is that the kind of backstory you expect in this adorable, like, robot game? Jesus Christ. Another thing I like about 10 is that it makes the bolts a little easier to stomach, because they've got more giant bolts laying around. There's more there's a higher drop rate on like the actual bolts from enemies. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ah! Alright, give me just a second. I have this pain in the ass hangnail. It just bounces off your head. Okay, so Sync, you mentioned the Crash HD trilogy earlier. And I don't own it yet, but I want to. And, that just... HD collections in general, it genuinely annoys me how these people will never be happy. Well, see, that's just the thing I was going to talk about. I have always hated, like, when I was a kid, I got the Super Mario All-Stars on the SNES. And, it wasn't until, like, just a couple months ago that, I found out that, like, super hardcore nerds absolutely hate Mario All-Stars. And, I grew up in that era where I moved on from the, well, that's the thing, though. Like, everyone talks about how Super Mario All-Stars, it's like, no, they don't feel right, it feels like shit. And, I can't get behind that, because when I was a kid, it was basically, holy shit, I don't have to blow in the cartridges, I can have all the Mario games right here. And I think I ended up getting the, later on I ended up getting the, All-Stars plus Mario World. And I remember when the Game Boy Advance launched, I got the Super Mario Advance. That was the beginning of the just what I needed, the bullshit. Now that I will genuinely complain about. But, if it wasn't for the fact that Super Mario 3 on Game Boy Advance has the most awful fucking camera, I would say that that's probably the definitive version. And, like, the Wii U lets you buy Game Boy Advance games. And, given the fact that the Wii U has, like, I really wish that Nintendo didn't shit the bed so hard with how terrible they handle their Virtual Console. But, like, when they released Mario 3 on the Virtual Console, it comes with all of the e-reader shit. And that is the kind of stuff that I wanted from Nintendo's Virtual Console. Or like, I bought Mario and Luigi on Wii U because I fucking love that game. And they re-implemented the Rumble feature from if you played it on your GameCube. Like, why couldn't Virtual Console games have more fixes like that? Like, more fixes and additions? Now granted, the Virtual Console games came out so slowly because they put them back through QA testing. I don't know. I really hope that the Switch's Virtual Console service does not shit the bed again. If Nintendo expects me to pay for my ROMs a third time, they can absolutely fuck off. Well, yeah, I know that. That's horseshit. And I don't mean horseshit like that's a lie. I mean that's horseshit like, you know, it's fucking lazy. But, it's just, you know, now that I think about it, it probably wouldn't surprise me if Mario 3 was literally just somebody's ROM hack of it. But just, the best I can say is that, you know, I just made that thing about I'm not gonna fucking buy it a third time. But, I will end up buying Link to the Past again. I think I've probably... Well, now that's just a straight-up lie, because I own every version of every Mega Man game. But, oh yeah, the absolutely fucking horrible releases. Horrible. That was my big problem with the Wii U. The fucking Wii U was just... It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I'm like the biggest Nintendo dick sucker on the planet, and I will tell you that the Wii U is a fucking failure, garbage dumpster fire of a system. And, not even hiding the fact that I post on V, because I just don't give a shit. I made a post the other night talking about how I think the people who defend the Wii U are the same kind of assholes who tell you that high school was the best time of my life. It's like, I hate that argument, because the only thing you liked about high school is that you were an irresponsible teenager. For every, like, getting to see Stacy's tits under the bleachers, or, you know, staying up all night in your bedroom doing whatever, you know, you forget about the math tests, you forget about your asshole, math teacher, you forget about all the bullshit that you had to put up with. You forget about the time that, you know, maybe you got a fucking swirly from the crackheads. And that's what I mean with the Wii U. Like, Wonderful 101 is probably my favorite Wii U game of all time, and if not my favorite Platinum game. But, you know what? It's like, yeah, I played Wonderful 101, I beat it the night I got it, I had the time of my fucking life, I spent the next 2 weeks absolutely ripping that game's asshole wide open until I beat it on 101% hard and got every single bottle cap. But then you know what happened after that? I went back to waiting a fucking year and a half for another Wii U game. I bought garbage I did not give a fuck about, just so that my Wii U would not be just a waste of time. Like, you know what? I'll walk over to my shelf right now. What do I have on Wii U? Okay, at launch, I got Nintendo Land, because that's what came with it. I bought Tekken and Zombie U so I could have something to fucking play, and Zombie U was actually good. I have Darksiders and Ninja Gaiden 3. Why the fuck would I ever own those? I got Sonic All-Stars Racism. Oh, Monster Hunter. Yeah, the Wii U was a Monster Hunter machine for probably like a full year until Wonderful 101 came out. And what do I have after Wonderful 101? Yeah, I didn't get a game until Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World came out. That's just terrible. Like, I'll never sell my games, because when I was a kid, I sold a couple games, and then it's like, oh shit, now that I sold it, I really want to play it. But, for God's sake, like... Hang on, I got a text from Fujo. But just, the people who defend the Wii U blow my mind. I will fight you to the death on how absolutely terrible the Virtual Console service is handled. And you get these absolute Nintendorks who will defend Nintendo with their life. I have never seen fanboyism as just ridiculously over the top as Nintendo. I love Nintendo, but that does not mean that I'm going to defend them with my life. Their Virtual Console system is legitimately fucked, and I hate it. So I bought a Wii, And when I bought a Wii, I bought games, I bought Virtual Console games for that Wii. And then what happens is, so let's say that your Wii dies, and mine hasn't yet, thankfully, but, you know, not only is I think it's already happened, but the Wii shop channel is closing down, so you'll never be able to buy those games again. You'll never be able to re-download those games, which is another reason why people who rely on digital media are crazy. But when the Wii U came out, and they were like, yeah, you can transfer all your shit. That little white flag gets me every time. But when the Wii U came out, and it was like, yeah, you can transfer your shit. You can. You can transfer it to the Wii side of the OS. And your shiny new Wii U tablet that you want to play on, you can't even fucking play on it. You can use it as a screen, and that's about it. And why the fuck am I gonna get it, use it? It's like how the Nintendo Switch launch trailer showed people using the Wii or the Switch as a screen while still playing their I don't know why I use Jet instead of Coil. But it shows people playing with the Pro Controller while using the Switch as a screen. What kind of asshole would do that? Just use the fucking... use it in handheld mode. And that was my problem with the Wii U, because it's like, yeah, I can download my old Virtual Console games, but I still have to go fucking dig out a Wiimote and a controller. I have these giant gorilla hands. I don't want to fucking use a Wiimote on its side more than I have to. Oh, you bitch. But no, I didn't get into the real meat and potatoes of why I hate the Wii Virtual Console so passionately. So, the fateful day comes that the game you want on Wii U finally comes out. And for me, it's Link to the Past. I love that game. I own it every possible way you can. And, so it comes out on the Wii U, and you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to go download it. And then you go to the fucking shop channel, and it's like, you still have to pay a fucking $1 for it. And that is just completely ridiculous. Why the fuck do I have to pay for it again? And you can give some, like, horseshit excuse about, you know, oh, it's a premium fee, because you're playing to use it on your Wii U, but I don't want to fucking pay for it. I already fucking paid for it. And you get those assholes who try to make, like, the same argument, that they're like, well, should you automatically get it because you bought it on Game Boy Advance? And it's like, no, don't be a fucking pedantic moron. The argument is that I already own it, it's already on the fucking Wii OS, goddamn give it to me. And then the absolute most biggest kick in the dick is when they finally announced that they were linking the account systems between the Wii U and the 3DS. And I thought that was the coolest shit. I was so happy. And all that fucking meant was that you didn't have separate dollar amounts on each console anymore. And the most infuriating part was you could go into your account settings and you could see that it's like, yeah, you own Link to the Past on Wii U. And you're like, okay. Fuck you, buy it again if you want it on 3DS, though. You know what you do on Sony? You buy it once, it's on your fucking account, and you own it. And I absolutely fucking hate that you get these goddamn retards who are like, yeah, but you have to buy it again on PS4 though. Yeah, but you know what? You know fucking what? I got to spend 10 years with, you know, like the very first PlayStation 1 game I ever bought on PS3 was Medieval. I bought Medieval and I bought Resident Evil 2. And I am not taking a chance. I am fucking wasting a tank. But I bought Medieval and I bought Resident Evil 2. And you know what I did? I got to transfer Resident Evil 2 to my PSP. I didn't have to pay a fucking $1.50 to do it. I just got to do it. And now, not only did I get to transfer Resident Evil 2 to my PSP, I got to copy my save to the PSP. So, when, back before I moved, you know, I had my own television and I moved all my shit into my bedroom, I got to copy Resident Evil 2, I got to copy my save file, and I got to pick the fuck up where I left off with zero bullshit. And then the Vita came out. And, like Xenogears. I've been playing Xenogears. So I've primarily been playing Xenogears on my Vita. And, oh god damn it. Rabbit's getting frustrated, he's mashing buttons. You know, I've been playing Xenogears on my Vita. And very occasionally, I'll copy the save back over to my PS3, and I'll pick up on my PS3 and keep playing. And, you know, I've got a couple Vita TVs, too. I've got one in my living room and one in my bedroom. So it's the same fucking thing. I can put my Vita away, I can pull the card out, I can put the card into one of my two Vita TVs, and I can pick right back up where I left off. So, it just blows my mind. And I think most of it is just legitimate incompetence at Nintendo. And I know this sounds like such a horrible, cruel thing to say, so I promise... I wish the guy didn't have to fucking die to get to this point. But it is so blatantly obvious that Iwata was such a detriment to Nintendo. Because good old Uncle Kimmy, ever since he took over at Nintendo, he has just, like, the bullshit has cut out, it's done. I'm gonna wait for the sand. God damn it. But, you know, the bullshit has cut out. You're not taking bikinis out of your M-rated game about murder. For the most part, it looks like going forward there is going to be a legitimate account system because you know, I have multiple accounts on my Switch. I have my account, I have Fujo's account, and then I have my I made a Nintendo Europe and a Nintendo Japan account. And when I occasionally like peek at the Japanese eShop, shit I've already bought on my American account is already bought on the Japanese account. So it looks like either Nintendo wants to like not let you double dip, or like they actually fucking listened. And you know, it's almost January, that's when they said that they were going to announce the full details of Nintendo Switch Online. So we'll fucking see what happens. But, you know, I don't want to be one of those assholes that's like, we'll just buy a Raspberry Pi. So I did. And, I even have a gay little NES-shaped case for it, because I'm a faggot. But I think at this point, I am just so done. If Nintendo wants me to buy my Virtual Console games for a third time, I'm done. Like, obviously, I'm fucking weak, and I'm gonna buy Link to the Past if it comes out, or, Oh god. Oh god! Ah! I should have waited. Like, obviously I'm gonna buy Link to the Past. I don't have to buy... I don't have to buy Mega Man, because the Legacy Collection is coming. And this time it's the Mega Legacy Collection. I don't know if they're putting Legacy Collection 1 and 2 in a combo pack. They fucking better. They'd be stupid if they didn't. I kind of think they're gonna handle it the same way they handled Resident Evil Collection. Because you can get the Resident Evil Revelations combo pack that comes in you get a cartridge for Revelations 1, and then you get a download code for Revelations 2. And I'm just gonna digitally download Legacy Collection 1 and 2, because fuck it. But, oh, I could probably make it, but I'm gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna download Legacy Collection 1 and 2 digitally, because part of Rabbit's Mega Man autism is, I have a dumbass rule that, oh, I thought I was just out of the way enough. But, I have a rule that I want Mega Man to be playable on any room in my house, on any system. And I know that just sounds like a stupid-ass thing, but again, you don't understand how deep this Mega Man autism goes for me. And just how fucking hilarious that I've been re-listening to the Sleepy Cast. And in their final episode, they talked about the Mighty Number 9 thing. And they talked about how Mega Man people are worse than Sonic fans. Because it was Johnny Utah who said something about, like, I bet the faggots who cry for a new Mega Man don't even actually play them. And, I think that's a very fair thing to say. But at the same time, you have the ridiculous superfans like me who I have legitimately played every Mega Man game. I even emulated the fucking WonderSwan ones. And I later bought the cartridges. I own the WonderSwan games too. But, I own the WonderSwan games, but I don't own a WonderSwan. I actually would like to if they weren't bullshit expensive. But, no, like, I own, you know, Mega Man 1 through 5 on PS3. At a convention, I bought all 6 of the original Japanese discs for the original Mega Man, the same ones that are on the Japanese PSN. Or I should say they're a Japanese import. Because that's what the Anniversary Collection on GameCube, PS2, and Xbox were based on. And, you know, I own the... I own a physical cartridge of the Wily Wars. I had Mega Mania pre-ordered on Game Boy before it got canceled. That was a fucking close one. You know, it's funny you mention Mega Man X Command Mission. I love that game. I absolutely unironically love that game. Even if it wasn't Mega Man, if you just completely strip out Mega Man and you just made it like generic sci-fi RPG, I love the battle system in that game. I love the sub-weapons. I love the transformations. I love how it's a fucking Mega Man RPG that still feels like a Mega Man game. It's such a shame it never got a sequel. It never got any kind of a port outside of the GameCube and PS2 versions. I would love to see that game get ported to a modern-day console, any of them, or Steam. I fucking loved the Command Mission design. Okay, now I just feel stupid. What's his fucking weakness? And Tron was another good one. I got all the Legends games as they came out, and Tron is really fucking good. I remember losing my shit that the final boss goes all the way off the fucking... Or the final boss's health bar goes all the way off the fucking screen. I was a huge homo that used the Mega Man colors for the paint job of my mech. Okay. We have to go stop Dr. Wily. That's fucking adorable. Also, if you played Command Mission and you didn't change the color of Mega Man's cape to blue or purple, you can just get the fuck out. I hate all of the ridiculous fan theories this game spawned. The whole thing about how, you know, oh, Dr. Wily came down with the sickness. Maybe he's a robot. Like, why can't it just be a dumb Japanese joke? Oh. But, no, this game spawned a lot of dumb fan theories, and I know it has been legitimately said that, both the, what's his name, Sergei in, Mega Man X2, and, oh god, not Gate, I think his name is Igor. I hated X6. That's the only Mega Man game I've beaten once and then just dropped. But, it's like Igor, Dr. Igor, something like that. I don't know. They're both said to be Dr. Wily. That's the thing about X6. I want to like X6, but that game was such a fucking rush job. I thought the ninja armor looked legitimately cool. The blade armor is fucking awesome. And it just sucks. Now this is a cool boss. Ah! You know, that's another Mega Man fun fact. So every Robot Master in the Mega Man series has a weakness, and a lot of people don't think about this, but Mega Man himself is also a Robot Master. And, all the Robot Masters have some kind of weakness, and Mega Man himself has a weakness to electricity. Now, whether that's some sort of, like, you know, commentary on how he's solar-powered or what have you, but, across every Mega Man game, he consistently takes the most damage from thunder attacks. Oh, that save. You know what, Sync? I can top you. One of my friends, his first Mega Man game was X7, and he didn't realize it was bad. Now, X7 is a game that legitimately broke my fucking heart, because, that game came out when I was like 13, 14. That was one of the first games that I ever saved up my own money for, that I didn't, like, ask for my birthday or something. Now, when X6 came out, I was like 10 or 11. So I was frustrated. I didn't understand that it was bad. I thought I was bad. Like, I thought it was just really hard. It wasn't until I went back and played it again that I was like, no, this game fucking sucks. Because those, I forget what it was called, but like the Maverick Virus thing, where levels could be changed, that was completely random. So it had a pool of like... Maybe I'm not explaining this right because I don't understand computers, but it had a pool of like chunks of level that as you, like when a level was randomized, it would just put these pieces together and make a level out of it. And sometimes you were just fucked. Like sometimes it would legitimately just make a level you could not beat. And, well, I didn't know that when I was a kid. I just thought, I'm angry because I can't beat this. I suck. But it wasn't until X7 came out that I realized, oh my god, this game is terrible. This game is legitimately fucking bad. Let's take the other path. Yes, I know, I keep forgetting that the weapons can be switched. And let's just talk about how bad X7 was. Like, one, you had to unlock X, which was just terrible. The whole implementation of that was just fucking awful. Because you could dig yourself into a corner. If you let enough of those Reploids die, X would just get pissed and just leave. And you just couldn't unlock him. That was it. So you either had to be like legitimately lucky, or like just rush in and fucking get them, or just accept that you would never get them. And then there was that whole fucking thing about how once you picked up a heart tank, it was gone. So whoever you picked it up for, that's who got the heart tank. So, assuming that you didn't know about being able to unlock X, you know, maybe by the time you unlocked X, you already split the heart tanks between Zero and Axel. Aha, surprise, there is more level to go. Aha, surprise, Rabbit sucks. Bet you didn't figure that out. And I will defend Mega Man X8. I think Mega Man X8 is legitimately one of my favorite of the Mega Man X games. I think that game gets an unfair reputation because of how bad X7 shit the bed, and I think that's a very fair, like, judgment to have. But at the same time, if you have not played Mega Man X8, it has a fantastic computer port. It's going to be getting a modern port soon to all modern consoles. Whether that's Mega Man X Legacy Collection, or whether they're just going to start selling these games individually. But again, if you have not played Mega Man X8, I wholly recommend it. Because it fixes all the problems that X7 had. Like life upgrades, you now buy in the store. So just because, you know, you get, just because you get a life upgrade for Axel doesn't mean that, you know, X and Zero are fucked. The way the armor is handled is really cool. If you ignoring the fact that the X's armor in X8 looks like one of those stupid cones you would put on your dog to keep him from biting his nuts, I really like how you could mix and match the armor pieces together instead of like you get a bonus for putting the full set together. But you can also mix and match them. And then not to mention the ultimate armor was just the best mix and match pieces with bonuses on top of that, plus the Nova Strike came back. Is it really possible to be nostalgic for 9? Oh, come on! Ah! But in Mega Man X7, Axel got a couple different guns from a couple of bosses, and it didn't matter anyway, because there was the one shotgun that was super fucking busted, and anybody who wasn't an idiot just used that. But, they went whole hog with that in X7, or X8, where, Axel got a new gun from every boss. So he didn't just get, like, a shitty Kmart knockoff of boss weapons, like as a replacement goldfish for X. Not to mention that everyone got an ultimate armor, and there was that whole plot, or that whole side plot about like who the fuck is Axel and all that, and like Axel's ultimate armor made him look like the villain of the game. That just raised more questions than it did actually answer things. And God, X8 was just so fucking good. Just play it. A lot of people don't like the like super skinny proportions it gives everyone. And if there was one thing I wish you could fix about X8, I wish you could just have all 3 characters at once. You didn't have to pick 2. They did that really cool thing where you unlocked the Navigator girls to use as playable characters, and they all, like, they introduced 2 new Navigators besides Allele for, or not Allele, Aaliyah. Sorry, can you tell I've been, like, really full on into biology lately? So, like, Aaliyah was basically a copy of X. You had Delicious Brown Girl, who was a copy of Zero. And then you had the Lolly, who was a copy of Axel. And I am going to get this, because I need it. And you might be wondering what that huge gap in the menu is. Mega Man 10 included DLC for the Mega Man killers, minus Quint, because he was a fucking idiot. And there was no Mega Man Killer in 5, I believe. No, wait. 1 had Anchor, who was the coolest. 2 had Quint. 3 had Punk. 4 had Ballad. Yeah, 5 didn't have a Mega Man Killer, because I think Terra took that role. But, no, Mega Man 10 added DLC for the Mega Man Killers. So you can go to their levels, and if you beat them, you unlock them. And, the Mega Man Killers are really cool. You have Anchor, who is this kind of knight-looking one. And his gimmick is that Dr. Wily made him out of material completely invulnerable to the Mega Buster. And he has the ability to absorb Mega Buster shots. And the way you defeat him is you legitimately just overpower him and blow him up. So you get the Mirror Buster for beating him, which is just you gain the ability to absorb shots. Oh god, oh god, oh god! Oh dear. And then you have Punk, who, I think his attack is legitimately called the Punk Buster, which is kind of funny. But, he throws these little sonic balls as his attack. And then you have Ballad, who had a cool, like, sunglasses rival motif for no goddamn reason. Like, I think that's one of my favorite parts about the Game Boy Mega Man games, just how silly they are. But you have Ballad and the Ballad Cracker, and I'll always remember that attack just because of how fucking cool it was. Ah, I'm stupid. Okay, we're gonna take a quick timeout. I know this is like streamer taboo, but I slammed a pot of coffee earlier, and I have got to race like a fucking piss horse. So I will be right back. Okay. I want to go to the shop, but at the same time I'm terrified too. We'll take our chances. Oh, I didn't even need to go anyway. I didn't have enough bolts. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, thank god. Does that thing even actually do anything? Okay, I might as well stop and grab that E-Tank. It's so easy. I'd be stupid not to. See, I remembered eventually. and immediately forgot. You know, completely ignoring the absolutely infuriating final boss, I think Mega Man 7 might be one of my favorite Mega Man games, just because of the art style, which I'm disappointed only got reused for those shitty arcade games, and the music was fantastic. It had like just the right amount of edge when you got to the final battle, and I will fucking fight people to the death on this one. The very first Wily stage music in Mega Man 7 is so much better than the infamous one from Mega Man 2. I don't care. I love that stupid ass, like, Super Nintendo rock power ballad it goes into. Ugh. One thing I kind of miss about Mega Man 7 that got changed in later Mega Man games was Bass's weapon. So one of the things I never noticed until I was older is that if you look at Bass's helmet, it's actually supposed to emulate Dr. Wily's hair. And that was just something I never picked up on. So obviously Bass was meant to be the rival character. I don't know if they felt that Proto Man was just overused, or... Okay, so we're gonna wait. But originally, in Mega Man 7, instead of shooting like giant... instead of shooting his rapid-fire machine gun like he has now, Bass had like these big laser shots. And it was just something real nice about them. You know, as a big sci-fi geek, I can always appreciate a nice laser. Oh, damn it! You know, if RPGs weren't absolute stream poison, I would love to play the Phantasy Star games. I fucking loved Phantasy Star. You could imagine the kind of hell I went through playing Phantasy Star 2, but in the pre-internet era. I mean, that was the time of my life that, like, you know, I was legitimately drawing maps in Metroid and shit like that. Nope, that's not gonna happen. And in a way, I miss those days, and in a way, I don't. Because there's something real special about, like, digging through my old game boxes and finding, like, oh shit, here's some old Zelda maps I drew, or, you know, here's some old here's my notebook where, when I was like 8 years old and playing the NES Metroid for the first time, I drew maps and actually, like, dug out crayons and colored pencils and shit so I could be like, okay, this is where I got a missile, so I check that off, you know. I think that's a bygone era that'll never come back, because you can just fucking grab somebody's ping off game tags, but... But man, I want to talk about maps for a minute. Xenoblade 2's map sucks. I can't wait till Friday when that patch comes out. Which that definitely just put a fucking date on this stream. Yeah, it's December 19th, 2017. Have fun with that one. No shit, it's the 20th. Oh god, I'm a time traveler. So this game does not have a second Wily Fortress. It does, and it doesn't. If you've never played Mega Man 10 and you don't know, you're in for a hell of a treat when we get to the final level. But, that's just another way that Inti Creates kind of listened to the complaints about Mega Man 9 and fixed them for 10. So, you know, not quite there. We're there, but we're not, and you'll see what I mean when we get there. You want to talk about legitimately bad decisions Inti Creates has done. Let's talk about fucking Gunvolt and how terrible the weapon is. I like Gunvolt, but I absolutely cannot stand the tag and zap. And that gets fixed because you get items. But Gunvolt is one of those games that gets better on New Game Plus. God damn it! Ah, I should have known. Because the fun thing about Gunvolt is you start getting all these upgrades, and it's kind of like Mega Man Zero. You know, it's like, okay, you get the double jump, and then you get the triple jump, and then you get the air dash, and then you get, like, here's the bullets for your gun that lets you shoot, like, rapid-fire tags. Here's the upgrade that doubles your electrocution put out. And it's just like, why didn't... I don't want to start the game, like, fully powered, but it's like the same problem I have with, Xenoblade. Why would you intentionally start me off gimped and piss me off? Like, maybe if you could have at least, like, done slight amounts of damage with the tags to begin with. Because the big final secret super unlockable for Gunvolt is like a pseudo Mega Buster that lets you do damage without having to shock them. And, like, I understand the entire gameplay mechanic of Gunvolt is tagging and zapping. Zapping to the extreme, one might say. But, I don't know. If you... The thing about Mighty Gunvolt Burst is that Burst showed that you can both include the tag system and do damage with the gun and not have it be completely busted one way or another. I could have made it, but I'm a bitch. And like I said, I did buy the Gunvolt collection on Switch. I owned Gunvolt on 3DS before it came out on Steam and before it got the patch that unfucked it. So the furthest I've played the Switch version is I beat the first level of Gunvolt 1. And, you know, it's a solid port, despite only playing the first level. But, I've heard that Gunvolt 2 definitely fixes a lot of the mistakes that Gunvolt 1 made. Like, I forget his name, I think it's Copen. But, you get to play as the dude with the big-ass shield in Gunvolt 2. And, I've heard that his gameplay is pretty fucking solid. And it basically... It doesn't quite fix all the issues you might have with Gunvolt. Not Gunvolt the game, but Gunvolt as a character. I don't know. I just wish that you started off with a few more power-ups in Gunvolt 1, just to not feel as horrendously weak as you do. Because you feel really shitty at the beginning of Gunvolt 1. Like, the cutscenes make Gunvolt out to be this, like, big anime badass. And until you start getting some upgrades, you spend most of the game, like, kind of bitching out from everything. And then by the time you get your plot power-up and Gunvolt is a borderline Super Saiyan, you get to fight the final boss, who is also a Super Saiyan. So all the strength you feel like you have is just immediately back to feeling like a bitch again. And the final boss of Gunvolt 1 is really frustrating. And that's kind of what put me off from playing it again anytime soon. Crab Puncher! Oh, shut up, that's awesome. Okay, I'm dead, so let's find out the, let's find out the weakness for this bad boy. Nope, I'm full of shit. There's 2 Mega Man games that you start off slightly askew now. Oh god. Well then fuck it, I'm not gonna use any weapons. I do also appreciate that Mega Man 10 brought back the Wily level specific boss fight music like this one. Fuck you. Okay, that was kind of a wet fart of an explosion. I think he could have died a little bit harder than that. correct me if I'm wrong, I know we just got off of Mega Man 9, and I didn't pay attention that well. But I think 10 also brought back, well, you know what? I might be just completely stupid about this. I think 9 did have unique music on every level. Never mind, disregard everything I just said. You know, I say I'm happy the Sniper Joes are green again when they were only ever green in Mega Man 1. But it's always kind of dumb how they were green in all the concept art, and then they were... Well, you know what? No. I'd have to double check the Mega Man art book. I don't care that much about it, but like, I don't know. I mentioned this in Mega Man 9. I really like the Sniper Joes. My big purple nut. Oh man, this fucking part cracks me up so much. I remember one of my friends was talking about how hard that jump was, and then I just cleared it in one go like that. Okay, part 2, Electric Boogaloo of the, little, I don't call it an elevator, sliding platform. Whoop. Maybe I'm just misremembering it, but I swear there's a part with the sliding platform where if you're on the wrong side of the screen, you can get fucked over. No, I don't care enough to get that life. I live fucking dangerously. And that's the kind of shit I'm talking about when I say that, like, achievements in ignorance. Sometimes I am, like, hilariously competent, sometimes I am hilariously incompetent. Was that really necessary? Okay. Alright. But it is not the cutter. So we know that for sure now. Oh, you think these Mega Man streams are bad? Just wait until I decide to stream Neo. Nope, not that. Oh god, they go back? Fuck you. Either you just become so used to this boss, or it is legitimately faster. Is this our Hitler? Nope. Oh, oh, you fucker. Okay, I'm not gonna waste anybody's fucking time. I'm gonna look that up real quick. Okay. So I did get it right the first time. I got smack it in the face with my big purple balls. Yep, yep, yep. So I should really save the dumb trivia for when it's appropriate. But the shutters got me thinking, the doors that I just went through, the shutters, got me thinking about how it always bothered me that the shutters were like half their size in Mega Man 5. And it wasn't until I got older and I played the Darkwing Duck game that I found out that Darkwing Duck used it either used the prototype for what would become the Mega Man 5 engine, or it stole Mega Man 5's engine itself. But, all I know is that Darkwing Duck and Mega Man 5, one of them borrowed from the other. And that's why the shutter doors are so small in Mega Man 5. And the reason the super arrow is there, and it feels so fucking out of place, is because the super arrow is from Darkwing Duck. So it's just one of those things where it's like the two games influence each other, and you'd never fucking know. Like how Parasite Eve is actually a tech demo for Final Fantasy VIII. I love the Parasite Eve games, by the way. They're some of my favorite PlayStation games of all time. When I was a kid, I liked Parasite Eve 2 more, because I liked how it was an action-y game. And as an adult, I realized that Parasite Eve 1 is the superior game. And it's a good thing that there's only 2 Parasite Eve games, and it never got poisoned with a third one. Because what a horrible world we would live in if it got an absolutely fucking horrible third game. Sometimes I wake up at night in a cold sweat, having nightmares about, like, oh man, could you imagine if Parasite Eve got a third game and it was on a handheld and they fucking turned one of the legitimately most badass video game heroines into a fucking bimbo dress-up doll? And I know the plot twist. I understand that you're not actually playing as Aya. I don't care. That game is terrible. I fucking love my anime titty games. I established that earlier. I love Senran Kagura. I love dumb anime pantsu. I love fucking all that perverted shit where it doesn't belong. And I absolutely despise the third birthday. I can't believe it. That is the only game where I will, like, put up my hand and be like, no, this game does not need to have anime titties. Because one, I hate Aya's design, how she dresses like a fucking, like, borderline ghetto teenager in her goddamn Ugg boots and the fluffy jacket and the torn up jeans. I hate how Kyle was a villain and you fought him for no reason. I hate how Maida is this, like in the first 2 Parasite Eve games, Maida was this, like, whatever, he's your smart Asian friend who helps you. And in the third birthday, he's this, like, horrible pervert who, like, creeps all over Aya, and he's all like, oh, Aya, girl, you so hot, you so sexy, And it's just like, what the fuck is going on? I hate how nothing in that fucking game made anything even remotely resembling sense. I hate the entire concept of, you sent your soul back in time. There is some dumb anime bullshit, and that has to be the worst of it. Oh my god, that game just makes me absolutely fucking vomit. And I am personally slighted by that game because of my own teenage retardation. That game came out when I was still living with my parents, and long story short, there came a period of time where it was like, okay, Rabbit, maybe this is just like a Midwestern family thing, but there came a point where it was just like, my senior year, we went and we had the big spring break field trip to Disneyland, and then it was like, okay, Rabbit, you don't get to come on vacation with us anymore unless you pay, and you don't have a job, so you have to stay home and watch the house. And it's like, oh, okay. And My parents left me $100, and you can't just leave a 17-year-old $100 and not expect him to fucking do some bullshit with it. So not only did I live like borderline poverty tier on like Hot Pockets and shitty pizza for that week, they were gone. I went to the store and I blew most of that money on buying the third birthday. And I mean, I just remember being so fucking miserable the entire week they were gone, because I was like, that was that moment where it's like, I could have bought food and I bought shitty ass video games instead. Nope, I'm not chancing it. I don't care. I'll probably never take damage after this point, but I don't care. See? I knew it. The third birthday was just so bad. And you know what? The third birthday sucks all around. The plot sucks, the weapons suck, the gameplay sucks. I hate that, because one of the things that I thought was cool about Resident Evil, or that Parasite Eve 2, is I'm like, oh, it's Resident Evil, but you throw fucking fireballs and shit. That's cool. And your powers in the third birthday were just like, you dual-wield pistols. And it's just like, that's it? Oh, that was so pointless. But man, just, what a horrible fucking game. What an absolutely fucking horrible game. So if I remember here correctly, you have to hit him with the explosion to do more damage. Yep. God damn, I hate when the Mega Man games do that fucking shit. So one of the cool things I like about Blade Man's design that you can't see in his NES sprite for obvious reasons, but his head is a katana, one of his hands is a sword, and the other one of his hands is a saber. And his level is that he's the curator of a museum. And, it's just real cool. Like, that's one of the things I love the most. The backstory to the Robot Masters is some of the coolest fucking shit. How many of my tanks can I burn up before the final battle? Also, he's got a fierce rivalry with Swordman. And I think it says something about, like, he actually banned Swordman from his museum or something like that. One of the coolest kills I ever got on Nitro Man was, I got him to land almost perfectly on one of the spikes, and that killed him. So in case I haven't made it obvious, unlike with Mega Man 9 where I did a little bit of practice before I started streaming, I did not refresh myself on the Robot Masters here. One of the nice features with, oh god damn it, we're doing it again. One of the nice features with the Legacy Collection is that you can just choose to fight the boss from the menu. Fuck you. You know, the worst part about this, like, little cold I have is it's one of those fucking shitty colds where, you're slightly phlegmy and your throat hurts just enough. I will say this, one thing that annoyed the fucking hell out of me with the weapon switching on the Wii version is that, imagine you're holding the Wiimote on its side. You did the weapon switching by pressing A and B. That just wasn't fun for anybody. Oh, got you, bitch! Because I'm 12 years old, some part of me wants to pretend that he's weak to balls, because, you know, sheep often got smacked around by Welsh balls when they were being fucked. I'll see myself out. Oh man, I forgot it was a fucking pirate ship. That's awesome. Again, just using Mega Buster, because that's just how I am. But nope, 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 nope. Fuck it. I'm gonna need to use it soon anyway. I just do not want to redo this fight again. After using all those tanks. Okay, so if you haven't seen 10 before and you haven't seen the joke, here it comes. the most egregious version of that yet. I don't think it's ever been topped. I think there was like one ROM hack I've played that cracked a joke like that. Not anywhere near to that effect. See, not to pull an AVGN, but these fucking drill assholes are the kind of shit that fucking turbo controllers were made for. And see, I can just get another mystery tank, so I used it for a good reason. He says, looking around the room with shifty eyes. Oh, you motherfucker, that wasn't a mystery tank, that was a weapon tank. Shit! Now see, at least with this one, there was a fucking attempt to, mix up the Wily capsule. See, the fun part to pay attention to during this fight is that his weakness is the cold spike. So, as you keep hitting with him, with it, not only does he start sneezing because of the Robo-Enza, he starts sneezing because you keep smacking him with fucking ice-cold weapons. Or at least, you know, I see it as a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Ugh. Splat. And here it is, the fucking scene that caused a million goddamn shitty TV tropes. Rumors. Goddamn, can we talk about TV tropes? I got in on that website on the ground floor when that website first kind of started popping up and making its rounds. And while I believe that it got neutered for good reason, it also kind of got fucked. Because there used to be this shit called Troper Tales, and that alone, if already caused a pretty good argument that a significant amount of people on the internet need mental help. Like, you could go to the page for, like, Panty Shot, and then go over to Troper Tales, and it's just like, here's all these borderline pedophile stories. But, at the same time, the Tumblr takeover for TV tropes has just been absolutely terrible. Because not only do they completely nuke pages they don't like there's no page for rants, there's no page for Kodomo no Jikan. Boy, that's pretty hot coming off of my borderline pedophile comment. But, like, before I discovered, like, other means, I used to use the Panty Shot page to find new, like, ecchi anime to watch, because, fuck you, I'm unashamedly a pervert. But, no, now just about any sexual page has some kind of, no examples, please, thank you, fuck off, sweetie, at the bottom. And then, I remember the day I made my account. It was because, it always comes back to this somehow with me. But I used the Fantastic Voyage page to find all of the cartoons and television shows and animes and shit like that. So I could be judgmental and be like, you drew your blood vessel like shit, fuck you. And I remember there was this huge argument on the forum where it was like, we need to change this trope to Journey to the Center of the Body. And I remember making my account and being like, fuck you, don't you dare. And I shit on those Wikipedia autists who, like, sit around all day and, like, hit their fucking panic alarm when somebody, like, moves a period around or erases an apostrophe on a Wikipedia page, but I damn near considered, like, watching that page like a fucking hawk. And speaking of which, I want to just, like, take this credit sequence to talk about, like, the fucking... Speaking of shitting on doing a fantastic... Haha, Brandon gay, faggot! Speaking of shitting on Fantastic Voyage plots, that's why I hate the new Magic School Bus. Not specifically because of that, because I could sit here all fucking day and tell you why that show sucks. But because of, like, the original show treated it like an adventure, like that was the whole episode. And in the new show, the one thing I hate is that across every episode, there's no like whimsical sense of adventure. You don't get the bus turning into a bee and the kids turning into bees to explore a beehive, or you don't get like the bus turning into an Oreo to explore an anthill. The new Miss Frizzle just kind of snaps her fingers. And I have no way to describe it, but, like, I call it an educational Family Guy joke. And I know that sounds really stupid, but give me a second. Basically, something will happen, and the kids will get confused, so new Miss Frizzle will just snap her fingers. And it's just like, they'll be talking about, like, oh man, fucking... why does this happen? And she'll snap her fingers and they'll just teleport there. And then for a minute they'll explain. It's like, oh, let's talk about gravity. And then she'll snap her fingers and then they'll be on the moon for like 30 seconds. And it's like, see, on the moon, your fucking gravity's all fucked up. And it's like, oh, okay. And then she'll snap her fingers and it's back to whatever they were doing. So, like, there's an episode about the brain, which... I'm shocked the original series never had, but this is like where my annoyance comes from. The entire episode treats it like, oh, we're gonna fucking talk about the brain like nobody's ever done it before. And it's like the quote-unquote voyage is just like a 2-minute scene at the end of the episode where they're just like, yeah, we're gonna hang out in Ralphie's brainstem for like a minute. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, bye everybody. And it's just like, oh, okay. And hey, I was right. Bass does get added at the last minute. So, real quick, just before I quit, I will come back and do Proto Man and Bass one day. But with Bass, he can dash, he can shoot in every direction, and I believe he's got his double jump from Mega Man and Bass. Bass, fish, whatever. So, I believe that is where we will call it a night. So I will be back eventually with either come back to Mega Man 8, come back to 9 and 10 as the other characters, or just moving on to the Disney collection to get a break from Mega Man. Not that I want one, just that I'm sure people would like to watch something other than me dying in Mega Man for an hour. So have a good morning, good day, whatever, and I will see you later.